Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Laureli Shimayo, and this is our MeWe training panel for energizing body, mind, heart, and soul. We have lots of events in person starting again next month in the Northwest, and we have lots of events online. Clearly, this is one of our online events. It's our training panel where we have practitioners that are newly sharing their gifts, that are new to sharing their gifts on stage, or that are sharing new modalities on the panel. So they'll be answering your questions today. It's half price to ask a question. They're in training. It's a great way to help them get started and really get their feet and learn how to do this and be comfortable to be on all of our other events. We have awakening panels, a format like this with a range of practitioners, often that's focused on a specific topic or a theme. We have fairs where we have usually about 16 practitioners at a time, offering their gifts in breakout rooms. You can have public experiences with them and private rooms if you want to do sessions. We have one of those coming up this Tuesday. And then we also have learning circles and practice circles where you can do exercises to open to your intuition and where you can do practice sessions and healings, readings with your peers, all supported by us. So excited to have you here on this training panel. We do have currently 5 people on the panel. We're going to go through and have them introduce themselves, share about what they do, so you get to know them a bit. And we're not going to talk about a theme today because we don't have a theme. We're just anything and everything. We are open to questions on everything. I'm going to go ahead and put the practitioners up on Spotlight. Let's see, Julia, could you turn on your video for me again? And I'll get you up here on Spotlight. And maybe, yeah, Julia, after we get you up here, we can go ahead and have you introduce yourself first if you like, and then we can
I got myself out of alignment.
Okay, that's okay. We will get you sorted back up in here in just a moment.
Forgot about Spotlight.
All right, yeah, then we'll have you go first after we get you set up. All right, so go ahead and tip it down a bit more. And then slightly over to your right. A little bit more to the right. And down just a tiny bit more. That's great. Oh, slightly to the right again. Okay, great. So yeah, go ahead and take a couple of minutes and share about who you are and what you do. And yeah, Julia, go ahead and go first, and then we'll go back and so everyone knows in the other order again. We'll do, I think it was Jess, Sig, Marian, Natalie. Okay, great. Julia, go ahead.
Hi, everyone. I'm Julia. I'm from Portland, Oregon. I have access to all 4 intuition types, although I don't always use all of them during my readings. But I'm a life path coach and an empath, and I'm also totally blind, so I typically do phone readings. So yeah, don't send me photos and stuff because I won't be able to read them. But thank you very much.
You want to say a little bit more about what you do and how you got started opening to your gifts and things like that?
I got started, well, I've been developing my gifts since I was 25. I'm 39 now, so for a while, but I have an ongoing mentorship with another practitioner, Kirsten Ackerman, who doesn't seem to show up in these events anymore, but she was here for a while. And we just started doing exercises and different things to develop my gifts, just sort of, and then I also work professionally at a couple of other psychic websites now. So
yeah, that's great. And you've been in our in-person fairs too.
Yeah.
It's great. Yeah, and the practitioner that you've been mentoring with, she much prefers the in-person events. So yeah, that's why she's done very little online with us during these last 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah, and you're in Portland, and we're getting ready to have an in-person fair in Portland again, November 20 and 21. So excited.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, coming up. And let's see, Julia, let me go grab your website. Maybe do you want to spell out your website for people too, if they want to connect with you?
Oh yeah, it's kind of a funny thing. It's Mystic, MYSTIC, and then Milieu, MILIEU.com. Just all one big word.
Great. And yeah, julia.kulak@gmail.com.
Yeah, it's my email. Yeah.
All right, great. Thanks so much, Julia. All right, Jess. And yeah, Jess, so I'm remembering to make sure you're close enough to the microphone too, and it'll be easier to hear you.
Yeah, so can you hear me okay, or is it pretty quiet?
Actually, that's incredibly loud. That's really good. So don't worry, you got it.
Julia, if you want,
you can turn off your camera. Go ahead. All right, Jess, go ahead.
All right. Well, thanks. Hello, everyone. Welcome. So I'm Jess. Apparently my sound was a little quiet earlier, but it seems like we fixed it. So in my professional life, I am a trainer, coach, mentor. I work with people. I teach about brain change and how to have better interactions. But I've experienced each of the clairs since I was very young. I've had a lot of messages and visits through dreams. And I'm just really having a lot of fun on the spirit side of things. So I'm happy to be here with you all and hopefully support in whatever way I'm able. So thanks for having me.
Oh, and you said cards. Do you want to say anything about what cards you use?
Oh yeah, a variety. I love cards, so I've got a lot of different decks. I have multiple tarot decks, different oracle decks, all kinds of them. Actually, it's a lot of fun.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think so. Sig, you're next, right?
Yeah. My name is Sig. I'm in Washington State, and I've always been intuitive with the psychic gifts of clairvoyance, clairaudience, and clairsentience. Recently, I've discovered my ability to receive channeled messages for people, and this started when I was doing remote energy healing on people. And my guides have encouraged me to take this further, which has led to my currently studying to become a certificated card reader. And although I do not always use the cards to get messages for people, as an artist myself, I'm drawn to their beauty and the visual aspect of the readings and messages that I get from them. Tonight, I'm going to be using decks from Diane Cooper and Denise Lynn and the Light Seers Tarot. I believe that this life is an adventure to be lived and an eternal journey for the soul. So I'm always learning from many different places and people and sources and many modalities, since another of my gifts is to see connections amongst separate ideas and combine them into a new form. This is my third time on these panels.
Thanks so much, Sig. Great. All right, Marian.
Hi, my name's Marian Chariat. I live in the Portland, Oregon area, and I've been dabbling in this intuitive and energy stuff since I was in my mid-30s, and I'm not in my mid-30s anymore. My first experience was in a spontaneous past life recall that answered some questions I had about a relationship I was in, that totally cleared it up and made it so that when we were separated, I didn't go into grief mode. So, I was heading for a family reunion and a wedding in Utah, and the further away I got from Portland, the more awful I felt. So it was really helpful to find out that in a past life, we'd been separated and we both died and we never saw each other again. So that was my very first intuitive answer. Since then, I've done a lot of training with psychic instructors, with Reiki, spiritual response therapy, which is a way of accessing your high self committee and getting information about interpersonal reactions that you have with another person, so that we can clear those up and things can be a lot clearer. One young man had his energy with his father cleared. He hadn't spoken to him for many, many years, and his dad called him the next day. So that's pretty impressive. I also have been guided to matrix energetics and a whole slew of card decks. I have a beautiful deck that's the Fairy Wisdom Oracle deck that has wonderful drawings, paintings by Florence Sibley, and channeled messages by Elizabeth Sains that I got several years ago that I love. So I kind of let spirit guide me. Sometimes we do a soul retrieval if there's a part of you that needs to become more a part of you instead of being hidden somewhere. And I just let spirit guide me and know that I trust it. So there you go. I hope to help everybody that calls, or at least some of you that need my help.
Thank you so much, Marian. Natalie.
Hello, my name is Natalie. I'm an intuitive and a higher self channel. I've started this work fairly recently. Although I've been on a healing path for many, many years, that path has taken me through meditation, yoga. I've had a DNA activation through the Modern Mystery School. I've tried the raw vegan, and I loved East West Bookshop here in Seattle for those people that are local before they closed down. Sometimes I'll use astrology and numerology in my readings. I've been practicing astrology for over 15 years. And I can find that that's really beneficial for certain periods in people's lives. So I have various modalities that I'll just take from whenever I'm doing a reading and whatever that person feels comfortable with. And today's my first day here, so I'm very excited. I hope that I can help and be of service.
It's great. Yeah, Natalie, you've been attending for so long, and it's great that you finally stepped up on the stage. Great. And as we went around, I know I asked some of you questions. Sig, I think when you were sharing, I didn't ask. Do you want to say anything about the cards that you use?
Yeah, actually I did. I'm going to be using Diane Cooper's, a couple of decks of hers, and a couple of decks of Denise Lynn's, which is a Native American type of feel. And then I also am going to be using the Light Seers Tarot.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I remember you did share a little bit. Great, great. And yeah, did any of you think of anything else you want to share about yourselves after we go around? Sometimes I know I'm reminded of things about myself too. Do you get an opportunity? Okay, great. Well, let's see. So, and then Henry and I are supporting you today. So Henry, take your turn to introduce yourself.
Yes, Henry India Holden. You can reach me at henryindiaholden.com. I'm in the middle of doing a sacred space ritual right now, so my mind was like, hello, in that space. So I work with people on in two ways, for people to discover what what their purpose is here in life, or what their life plan is, or what the meaning of their life is for them. And so that's one thing we work on discovering what it is if you don't know, or defining it more clearly so that it can give rise to action steps of how to manifest it, or working away blocks that get in the way. That used to be my case. I knew who I was, but I didn't know how to manifest this. And so I work with people on that. And I use 3 modalities. I use life coaching. I'm a certified life coach, 240 hours of in-person training in 2006. And I am a tarot reader, or tarotist, as the English say. And I'm also a spiritual director. As a spiritual director, well, I got a little, look at this building, sparks flew when I said spiritual director. Okay, here, just in case you're wondering, sparks flew there. And as a spiritual director, I help you, if you want to, develop an intimate, nurturing, and loved relationship with the divine. Oh, and I have specials, but they're in the chat. So
you can go ahead and say, and you have a class starting too, right?
Yes. I'm right now in the middle of teaching a class, Intuitive Tarot, Unfold the Divine Mystery, and I'm starting my next class November 13, and it's 4 Saturdays in a row, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. and it's just wonderful. I've developed my own deck to speak more in terms of this more enlightened space that we are now than we used to when some of the decks were developed, and also just for it to be in alignment with my cosmology that comes out of having direct experiences of the divine. And so this is more speaking my truth more closely, and I'm getting wonderful feedback. People are loving my deck, and I love it too. And right now my specials today are $20 for a 30-minute session, and $30, that's the best deal, for a 50-minute session, mix of modalities or just one of the modalities, life coaching, divine guidance, so like spiritual guidance, or tarot.
And that's more than 50% off. It's a really great deal.
Yeah, that's a great deal, but I want you to have it.
Yeah. And I'm Laureli Shimayo. I'm an intuitive eye reader and a body psychology coach. I read your eyes, read your soul to answer questions about your soul path. your purpose. I can answer questions practically about your career path, where you might work so that people really appreciate you in a job where they, you get to do what you love. So you experience more success and it's better for the people that hire you too. Similarly, I help companies hire people that are great for the role, for the culture, for the team. I love to answer questions about relationships you're already in. If you show me photos of people in your life, I can talk about you and talk about them. I also love to use this for matchmaking, for romantic matchmaking. So I can help you find a soulmate. I can help you figure out if someone is likely one of your soulmates. All kinds of different things. There are also lessons, growth lessons for how you can grow to share the best of who you are, feel the most joy, feel the most fulfillment. And then body psychology coaching or body psychology, it's like an awareness of like, what is the information that's coming through your body? How can you be aware of that and use that and utilize your body as a way of shifting your psychology and shifting your emotions too? All kinds of different things we can do physically with our body. It's really a tool, right, for being here and for living our experience. So I do things like that, as well as running all these different events, and we have in-person events coming very soon. I'm very excited. You can learn more about me at LaureliShimayo.com. That's LaureliShimayo.com. You can schedule with me a complimentary mini session or one of my specials today. It's 40% off if you want to do a session with me, scheduling today or the next few days from having been here. You can go to scheduleloreli.com to schedule time with me. All right. Well, let's see. Let's get started with the panel tonight. I know we interrupted you in the middle of a ritual there, so hopefully all right, yes. And so we request, if you want to ask a question of the panel, if you can pay before you ask, and then please let me know in the chat if you've paid, when you've paid, so that I can get you right at the front of the line. I don't think we have anyone in line yet, unless some of you have paid in the last few minutes, and I have not been checking. So I know before we answer questions, I want to do a little bit just to kind of set the stage, set the container for that. One is that we know that you're all intuitive, right? And well, we know everyone's intuitive. Everyone has the possibility of being open, and chances are, because you came here, you might be. And it does look like we have someone in line already, 2 people in line already. Maybe this is great. And we know that everyone's intuitive. You might want to have something to write with and write on as you're here, because you might get messages as you're sitting here. And often those messages are fleeting. So by writing them down, you might be able to stay connected to them for a little bit. It's a great opportunity to practice opening to your intuition, because you can check and see if what came through you matches in some way, is in alignment with what the practitioners on the panel share. Get this other device up here in the spotlight. Go. And also, we request that you allow the attention to stay. Oh, and this is coming. Allow the attention to stay on the panel as the panel answers questions today. So if something does come through for you, for the person asking a question, please, if you could hold that until we finish answering their question. And then if you want to, write a private chat to them and see if they want to hear what came through for you. And please honor whatever they share. They might be full. Trust that it came through you for another reason. Then also, when you ask a question of the panel, we may share deeper than you want us to share in this public recorded forum, or about topics that for us are related but that you don't want us sharing about here, and that's fine. You can give us guidance before you share, or jump in and interrupt us and give us feedback in the moment, so that we can shift and change where we're going, so that we can honor you in the way that the panel answers. That's really so important to us. We're here to honor you in the experience. All right, well, let's see. So we've got a couple in line, and I'll get so I know we've got Jacqueline and then Shayla. So let's see, so we can get started.
Lorelei, it looks like Lisa Stewart, I think it was, oh, I'm sorry, Jacqueline Lee. Yeah, she said she paid a bit before we started.
Yeah, and I've got it. I can see it in here. Yeah, I got Jacqueline and then Shayla. That's great. Thank you. Thank you for supporting me. Yeah, you can pay by PayPal or Venmo. And so if you want to come up on the spotlight when you ask the question, I'm sorry, my dog's gonna bark for a moment because my partner just came in. Let me open my door and then it'll be a little less loud. I know, I'm gonna let you get in so you can see her. I'm so excited. It's just loud anyway. And yeah, so Jacqueline, if you want to be on video, turn on your video and I'll be able to put you up in spotlight, and then. Okay, great. Oh yeah, okay, great. All right. What is your question? And practitioners will have about 3 minutes or so to answer, just so if you're prepared.
Well, this is like a general phenomena that's been going on. So I would just like input feedback about, what it might be, and what it might mean, or what I should do, just general whatever impressions you get. it's a bit like for the past 5 years, the metaphysical activity in my life has really, really spiked. And usually it's a lot of times it's positive, and like a crystal vibrating by itself, or a computer turning on in a different room, or music playing from a computer that's off, or seeing like a rainbow cloud, things like that. And let's see. So and then there's also this palpable, like warm sensation I'm always having, like every day at the heart chakra. So I'm just curious what you all might think that means, or where it's from, or what I should do, anything.
And so you're just wanting to know what that's about, or?
Yes, like, well, whatever impressions that you get from it, like what it's about, or what it might mean. I mean, or the source, or what I should do, if that makes sense.
Sure. And let's say, have you done anything in particular with it so far?
Well, I've just been starting these metaphysical meetups, and MeWe is one of them. And it was really great the other day. We did that panel. It was really nice to be able to get that kind of intuitive feedback. It was really wonderful. And so I'm also in a couple of different metaphysical groups, and there have just been a lot of synchronicities and just metaphysical / magical events, occurrences. Yeah, and I'm not sure what it's about, but I mean, my mother just passed in 2020, and there's some, like messages from her, seemingly. Like one of the things is, my real name is Joy, and my mother named me. So recently there have been these signs like that I should start using that name. So I've been doing that more, but yeah, I mean, just whatever impressions you can get about this.
That's a great question.
Could I say something? Or
Oh yeah, and so oh yeah, go ahead. That's right. Go ahead, Julia. Just jump in when you.
Oh, sorry.
It's harder for you to raise your hand. Go ahead.
Well, I don't think this will come as a surprise to you, but yeah, it's just a very controlled kind of divine inspired psychic awakening. It will continue through like the next 5 years, maybe longer, because they don't want your gifts to open up like really fast, so they're controlling them. There's like all 4 intuition types, and yeah, you were getting messages from your mom, and just kind of keep going to the metaphysical groups and stuff, because they'll help you sort of figure out how to manage things and stuff. But that's all. Thanks.
Thank you.
I guess, Julia, maybe could you say a little bit more of, you said they, maybe is it okay that I'm prompting you? Just maybe share a little bit more about what you mean by they. So Jacqueline.
Well, I meant like her spirit guides, or like her divine team type of thing. That's what I meant by they.
Great. And
This is Natalie. I can share something.
Sure, great.
Okay. Hi, Joy. Joy, Jacqueline. So I love your energy, by the way. I feel like it's very like light and airy. The first thing I heard when you started talking was, she's not listening. And I was like, what do you mean she's not listening? She just said, I think it's my mom, and I think she's telling me to change my name back. So, I think what you have to do is just remain open to the messages. And I don't know if you're doing this or not, but say, Spirit, I saw that. Tell me what you mean by that. you know, you can ask for clarification. You can ask, you can probe, right? That's what they're there for. And sometimes, I mean, the door is knocking and we hear the knock, but we don't want to know what's behind the door, you know, so we kind of avoid knowing what we know, right? Because maybe we're not ready yet. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes, actually, I have not been doing that. And so that's a very good point. It had not occurred to me to ask for clarification.
Yeah, and what I'm sensing for you is that I think I know you just mentioned you're kind of new to the spiritual community, but if you don't know this already, the world is shifting, you know, from a third dimension up to the fifth and the sixth dimension, and you're a part of that. So the reason that all these gifts are coming forward for you is because, you know, your soul made a decision to come into this lifetime and help with that change that's happening on the planet. So just move forward in that knowing and that honoring of your gifts and who you're becoming, and do whatever you can to stay grounded and, you know, stay lighthearted as you move through these shifts, and continue doing what you're doing, because I mean, you're here today, so that's perfect.
Great, thank you.
Thanks so much, Natalie. Marian looks ready.
Hi, Joy. What came to me is something that I heard many years ago, but it's still true. And that is that spirit whispers in our ear. And if we don't listen and pay attention, we'll get a tap on the shoulder. And then we might get a little bit of a tap, and if we're still not listening, God's going to bang on our hood. So you don't want it to get that loud. You want to start listening while it's still quiet. And as Natalie said, start asking for clarification. Maybe do some writing. Sit down if something like this happens, the computer goes on or something like that happens, sit down and just say, what do you mean? And see what comes from your pen. I've had some really interesting experiences doing that and got some very valuable information. So give that a shot.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
And I'm just prompting. So Marian, that seems like a great idea. Maybe do you want to say a little bit more about like, and just start writing, like, or what that might be called, or what to do or not to do in that kind of setting? Or
from my experience, if I just sit down with a pencil or pen and a piece of lined paper and say, I heard what you said, or I got an impression that you're needing to talk to me, or you want me to know something, what is it? And then just whatever comes onto the paper, pay attention to that and question some more. If it doesn't make sense, question some more. I know a number of years ago when I wasn't listening, I really did get a bang on the hood. I got in a head-on collision because I wasn't listening. So you don't want that to happen. I was not paying attention. It was before I had my first experience of an intuitive kind of recall. So, but I had little things, just little things. So I just, that's my impression, is like Natalie said, ask for clarification. And that's just one way to get it.
Great, okay,
Great.
thank you.
Great. And just practitioners too, like if some of you share things that like prompt something else in you to share, and you're kind of pinging off each other and all that, that's great too, if that happens. Who else has something to share? And yeah, it's best if you raise your hand in Zoom so I know that you're all set, but yeah. Except for Julia, it's okay for you to just jump in. It's easier.
Oh, I have an added element to this question, and is that, do you think that the heart chakra sensation is somehow related to this, and how do you think it is, if you do?
And do you get that particularly when you're having messages, or is it a separate thing?
It's a separate thing, but I feel like almost every day it's a warmth, and it varies depending on, it's like reactive to what I'm doing. And it's generally positive. Although sometimes and so the positivity is like radiant warmth, but every once in a while there'd be a negative reaction to something I'm doing, and then it's like a kind of like a pain.
Mhm. All right, great. We've got Jess, then Sig, and then Marian again. Go ahead, Jess.
Yeah, so so the very first card that I got was Page of Cups. And it's funny because when you asked about the heart chakra and how that relates, I went to another deck and got the Page of Cups again. And so I really see this as a loving message. These are meant to be loving messages coming in. So if you're, if you're worried about, if there are some negativity or that sort of thing, I really see these as loving. Another card that had come through early on was the Five of Pentacles, and this particular Five of Pentacles has a mother and daughter sort of out in the cold. And that was followed by the Page of Wands, which is, again, about messages a lot of times. And then the last from this Crystal Visions deck was the Two of Cups here. So again, that idea of, and I apologize for not really having good lighting for the cards, but really sort of seeing this as meant to be loving connection. So if you're feeling separated from your mother, it seems to me the cards are saying that she's definitely attempting to commune with you. And yeah, I think your instinct is right, with that feeling in the heart being connected. And I would say, you can set boundaries. You can envision this how you want it to go. You can absolutely set boundaries. Know that, everything is working out for you. But be easy and graceful about this, I think would be what I would have to say. Just receive it with kindness. Let go of what's not serving you with kindness. Feel free to release any part of it that, you don't want in your experience.
Great. Okay. Thank you.
Great, thanks so much, Jess.
You're welcome.
All right, Sig.
Yeah, I got basically the same thing, that this is spirit trying to talk to you, and that you need to lead with your heart, go with what you feel and what you think is right. And interesting what Jess said, because I also drew the Temperance card. So be balanced in all things. Don't let yourself get pulled in too many directions at one time. Keep yourself level keeled and go with your heart. Realize that the universe is trying to speak to you. Look for signs and synchronicities. Pay attention to what's going on around you and follow where your heart tells you to go.
And it looks like you've got a number of cards. Did you want to say anything specific about the cards?
I think the overall message is the same as what everybody else has been saying. There's heart cards here. There's cards of letting go. And definitely the clarifying card that came up was Temperance, to be even keeled in all things. Be patient, don't rush, and just follow your heart.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Great, thanks. All right, Marian.
Well, what came up with me when you reiterated the heart is that if you look at the chakras on one of the pictures, you'll see the heart is the center. You've got 3 that are connected to the earth: your root, sacral, and solar plexus. And then you've got the throat, the brow, and the crown above. Your heart is the center. That's where you're balanced, as Sig said. So if you get that, you're more in balance when that heart warms up. But if there's a pain, you might want to look and see, are you disconnected from your upper chakras?
Oh, what do you mean by that?
Well, if you haven't been paying attention to the spiritual side of yourself.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So that's just how it's been coming through to me over the last several days, is to be balanced in that space.
Okay. Yes, thank you. That's balance is a big one. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
All right, great. Anyone have it? Oh, Natalie, go ahead, Natalie.
I just remembered something. One thing that I noticed would maybe be helpful for you is if you can envision white light coming in through your crown chakra. And the only reason I thought of that is because of what Marian just mentioned. And I remember that I saw a vision of that for you. So I think maybe that'll just help kind of like, I don't know, like the feeling that you're having in your heart, like dispel anything that's not supposed to be there and just kind of get you in that aligned, balanced, grounded state again. And then let me see, I'm sorry. Oh, and then if like sometimes when my guides are talking to me, I sense behind my head a lot of pressure. And when that pressure gets too intense, I'm like, hey, hey, you need to stop. It's too intense. So just know you can tell them, hey, I know these challenges or whatever it is I'm going through are for my highest good, but I need to slow down this week, so you have control. And I think that's what Jess was saying is, just remember that you have control over the situation too. So if you're engaging in like an active conversation, just like with a family member, it's just like an open dialogue.
Oh, and what do you think I should focus on if I'm envisioning white light flowing like that?
Yeah, I think that like just in if you're meditating now and you feel like you need kind of an energy clearing, you can do that for yourself. I mean, moving your body is great for energy clearing already, but if that's not helping you, you can just envision just a white light coming down and just know that that's source, right? So it's the light of the highest good, whatever you imagine is, your God or, universe. I don't want to put words in your mouth.
No, I know. Source, yes.
Yes, okay. Yeah. And you can ask for help too. I mean, with everything, you can say, I want to clear my energy. I'm going to step into this meditation. Guides, I want you to show up with me. And then you develop your own practice and whatever feels right for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Good luck.
Great. Anyone have anything else for Jacqueline, or we were teasing in the chat, Joyqueline or Joy? Before we finish up. And maybe I'll mention what Marian was suggesting. I think it's called, or a version of it is called automatic writing. So it's particularly where you, right, just like open and attempt to not think, just like let whatever's here show up, like get surprised almost by what your hand writes.
Yeah. Oh, I haven't done that. I haven't tried that actually.
Yeah. So that's what Marian was talking about. Great. And yeah, I just want to include you too, Henry, if there's anything else you want to further comment on, or in terms of having other practitioners, or you're muted.
La 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 la. All right. I think everyone's answers are really good. I did see something, Jacqueline, that just sort of came in where it could be far out. But I think that it's possible that you're going through a slow Kundalini awakening. because this kind of warmth in a chakra, that is one of the ways that happens. And once they all connect, that's when you have your Kundalini awakening. So it's, I think, worth it for you to check that out. And you can sit, when you feel that warmth, you can sit in a space and just put your arms around yourself really tenderly and just say, hi, heart, I love you. You're safe with me. Is there anything that you would like me to know? And you can enter a dialogue, just like somebody here said that you can ask, I think Julia may have said that you can ask whoever is creating the phenomena in your space, what's up? So you can also talk to your heart.
When you say Kundalini awakening, what do you mean by that? And check it out, what do you mean?
Okay, that's so great. So if you go to the interwebs, there's probably 5 million hits that you're going to get for Kundalini awakening. It's a huge, huge thing. It is from India. It's part of the chakra system of belief. And Kundalini awakening is a kind of energetic awakening of your chakras, and the doors opening up between this world and the unseen. That would be like a very simplified way of talking about it. I mean, it's a whole subject. You can do a whole, write a whole book and do a whole 2 hours on just Kundalini. But I think Kundalini kept coming up. So I think it might be worth for you to explore that. It's going to be an amazing exploration.
It's great. And Henry, if you don't mind saying, yes, so that, some people are asking questions about it in the chat. So it's great that you're saying a little more about it. And practitioners on the panel in particular, if any of you know about this, maybe even jump in before Henry. Yeah. If you want to say a bit about, people want to know a little more of what it is, and does everyone experience it? And if any of you are familiar, if you want to share.
Yeah, I have. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I've done a lot of research on it. There's several different websites. One of my favorite ones is called Biology of Kundalini.com. There's all kinds of wonderful scientific stuff, and there's resources. I think it's called the Spiritual Emergence. Oh my gosh. Network, or it's out of Vancouver, Canada. There's a couple of different people you can call just to get help with questions about metaphysical stuff, and they don't charge you, they just answer. They're volunteers. So
Great.
Yeah, and what you were saying, spiritual emergence. So there's spiritual emergency and spiritual emergence, and or psychotic and psychic opening. So this is sort of where this whole realm of spiritual opening and psychology, where they kind of blend, and then they have different perspectives. It could be the same situation and they'll call it different things and approach it very differently. I very much appreciate that you're here in this audience talking about these things. And here's the Biology of Kundalini website that Julia was mentioning. I just put that in the chat there.
Oh, great. And so you said they're spiritual emergence. Is that what you said?
Yeah,
emergence.
I think Julia said spiritual emergence, and then some people, spiritual emergency would be if it's too intense and too fast or confusing for the person, maybe. And so it's great that for you, you're having you have a lot of things happening, and you have the experience that it's relatively slow. You're having a lot of different kinds of openings. Some people only have very small openings. You're having a lot, in my perspective, you're having a lot of different things happen. Jess had something too. Go ahead, Jess.
Yeah, so I had two more cards for you for sort of wrapping up. And so I've got this one, so let me show this one first. So notice, so this says take charge and action. But notice I don't know if you can see it really well, but this is that, some of that white light, now talking about. Wow. Which is, it's there for you no matter what, but I'm imagining this as you're having these experiences, right? So it's coming in, but notice how what he's got in his hand is an arrow. So there are some arrows slung on his back, but he's got this arrow in his hand, and it's an energetic arrow. He gets to do with it. It's his choice. It's coming in, and then he is able to direct that arrow. So, if he doesn't direct it, then it's going to manifest in all sorts of ways. But know that you do have influence and power. to direct this. And then the other one that I want to show you is the Empress. So just the embodiment of love and fertility and abundance. And I just want to emphasize the loving nature of this energy and this experience and what is happening for you. So I'll just like to finish with those two.
Great. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Great,
Thank
everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Yes, that was really, really enlightening. Thank you very much.
Great, you're welcome. Yeah, right. Service to everybody, all kinds of different things. I love how we all participated.
Yeah, I
Thank-
just would like to add one thing. Jacqueline, I think when you said that sometimes it hurts, that's
Yes.
what triggered it from me, because I had a Kundalini Awakening in 2006, and it was actually at times painful. And it got to the point where I was like wishing it would stop, because I just couldn't take it anymore. It's so much energy. And it felt like, I don't know, like the whole chakra system was like champagne fizzing. It was so intense.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
right. So I think that may be happening. And that's really just your soul. One way of seeing it is your soul awakening to its immortality and to its divine nature.
Great. I guess one thing it had me think of too is hot flashes, because I had two kinds of hot flashes over the years. One is just mornings and blah, blah, blah. But then also for a while, I had when I had a particular emotional response, when I wasn't allowing my emotional waves to just flow, or when I was holding back, I would get hot. And so it was a real signal for me that I wasn't following my emotions and really letting my emotions open. So it could be also the pain that you're getting in your heart if it's happening in certain kinds of situations, if you're not doing what you really want, you're not facing something. And yeah.
Okay, great. Great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks so much, Jacqueline. All right, getting us started, supporting all these great practitioners. All right, and you all on the panel, if Henry and I are sharing too much at some point, you can shush us too. All right, we're here for you. Yeah, exactly. All right, Shayla, you are next. Oh, and I want to say Drea appeared. Is Drea still here? Drea, we were
I
gonna
am
have you on this
here.
panel. Do you want to be on the panel? Do you
I
want to
am
jump in?
here.
All right, so let me
Yes,
get
I
you up.
do.
All right, all right,
do.
all right. Let's get you up here. And
Now look, can you recognize me? Do I look different?
You look lovely.
I'm trying to disguise myself.
It's great. However you want to be here, however you're comfortable. Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna be. I'll probably play Sig. I'll play with your cards on and off and stuff like that, and I'll switch them with me when you're. Oh wait, they just popped off. No wait, someone just popped off. Julia just popped off. Okay, I'm gonna work on getting Julia back on. All right, I will. Oh, that's right. I forgot, everyone. Julia had to leave after an hour, so she may have consciously left. Let me just say a little bit more about Julia in case she's not coming back. It was great to have her for a period of time. She's often here the whole time, but she had a conflict this time, and I told her she could still come. So she offers psychic readings and life path coaching, mysticmilieu.com, julia.kulak@gmail.com. And her number is 971-985-0022. And she's got a special of $10 for 30 minutes and $20 for an hour. I'm sure it's huge, great value. She is lovely. So thanks so much, Julia, for being here with us. I would have had her share. Forgot she was leaving. And maybe she'll pop right back in. All right, so Shayla. All right, there you are. Let's get you up here on stage. And then Drea, I will work on getting your all your info changed. Maybe, do you want to just introduce yourself since you weren't here for that too? Maybe just share for a minute or so, like what you offer.
Oh,
Like,
who, me?
Yeah. What are your modalities?
Oh, I'm sorry. All right, I'm so sorry, guys. I'm an intuitive reader, clairvoyant. I've had this gift since I was 5 years old, but I was taught by my aunt, and I wasn't able to practice until I was 18. Mhm.
Right. And then is there any other flavors you want to give of like how the information arrives for you, or are there any other tools, or is it just
It's just a vision will pop up in black and white. So if it's a general reading, I kind of pause and I try to pick up the person's voice, tone, and then I can go in and I can channel, and I see in black and white. Anything that's in color, it's like a warning sign or like caution. But usually I get visions in black and white. Mhm.
Great, great. All right. I got you named up here with your modality.
That's really
So I have
cool.
Black and white. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And
so
I
nice.
also do automatic writing. Let me write down my introduction because I suck at my introduction.
Because we
I'm
all get
so
practice.
sorry.
That's like the whole purpose of doing this. Is
Exactly.
practice.
Yeah, I think I suck at it.
Yeah.
No, you're awesome.
Great.
Well, thank you for whoever said that, but yeah, it's all relative, right?
Great. All right. Okay, Drea, are you set for now?
Yes, I'm good.
Okay, great.
Because I'm
All right.
writing it down.
Cool. All right, Shayla, is that how you pronounce your name?
Yes.
Great. What is your question?
Well, I don't really have a question. I'm just open to whatever comes through, whatever I may need to know is fine.
And I know sometimes for people, it's easier if they have like a little bit of texture. Is there, maybe could you say a little of like what prompted you to ask the question?
I don't know. I haven't been feeling the best lately. Very overwhelmed these past few weeks, months at least. So just kind of wondering, like, I don't know if I'm missing something or, you know.
Are you looking for something to help you kind of heal that, or?
That would be good.
All right. Who has?
Okay, Sheila,
Here we go.
I'm sorry. I am so sorry. Sheila, I just want to ask you, does this have anything to do with life in general, or does it have anything to do with family or career?
All of the above.
Oh,
I went
okay.
back to
All right.
work in
So,
July. I started graduate school in August. I found out I was pregnant a couple months ago. So just a lot has been going on lately.
okay.
Great. Looks like Natalie's ready. Go ahead, Natalie.
I'm just going to kind of get the conversation going, but the word I heard was stuck. So I don't know, Sheila, if that's how you would say, like, if you just have an overall feeling of stuckness. And then I also saw like a seesaw. I don't know if that's what it's called, but like this, like kind of like your life is doing this right now. Like you're trying to keep things in balance, you know, you're kind of doing a good job considering everything you have on your plate. Right. And it's like you're just trying to keep things in balance. Does that sound right to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Let's see. So basically right now, what I'm sensing and what I'm feeling is that you just have to keep moving forward. So it's like you don't want to think about the past so much and the things that have happened. It's kind of like you don't want to go back there. You just want to keep walking, you know? And they're saying like they don't want you to walk slowly either. I don't know, you know, they don't want you to stop and smell the flowers is what I'm hearing. They want you to like move like with intention and kind of have like a momentum and know that you're going in the direction that you're meant to be going in. So they want you to own that. Like, I know where I'm going. I know what I'm doing. I know what I need to do today, you know, and just kind of like honor that about yourself more, that you really know where you're going and where you want to be.
Okay.
Does that help?
Yeah, that makes sense. It's something that I guess I'm just trying to figure it out. So I guess I must be on the right path, but I'm just kind of second guessing it, questioning it and feeling a little overwhelmed.
Yeah. And just, you know, let's see. So like one thing you can start to practice is, how do I want to feel today? You know, and just know that you have the ability to change that. Do I want to feel confident today? Do I want to feel strong today? You know, do I want to feel happy and joyful today? And then that's going to kind of help you with that momentum of knowing that you know what you know and that you're going in the direction that you're meant to be going. Because you're kind of like, you have those leadership qualities where you're like, you know, you have that in you, but it's kind of like you're denying it a little bit.
Makes a lot of sense.
Okay. Awesome. That's all that I have, Lorelei.
Great, thanks, Natalie. Drea's next.
Hi, Sheila. Is that how I pronounce it?
Shayla.
Shayla. I'm sorry, Shayla. Okay. I am envisioning a lot of different things. I feel like my head is about to explode. I think that you just need to take one step at a time. Okay, you are on this journey to complete academic, family life, and you're going to achieve that. But it has to be one step at a time, and you need to ask for help. It's okay to ask for help. If you need an hour alone just to focus, or you need time alone, with your loved one, do it. Time management. I think you don't have to, but I think you need to look at things differently because you're overwhelmed. It's more of a personal, emotional issue, if you will, and emotional meaning, oh my God, I got all these things I need to accomplish and do. And you're starting it, but then you're second guessing yourself. Does that make sense? It's almost like you're it's like an interference when maybe you just need to breathe and do one step at a time. I want to ask you, do you have a specific question or concern that I could answer that you want to know the outcome of?
Not specific. No, I
Mm.
don't have a specific question at the moment.
Okay. Because you are on a journey of success. I just don't want you to get derailed from the success that is given to you. Even though you have these obstacles in the way, you can overcome it. Just one step at a time, if you will. One small accomplishment. I don't care if it's studying for 30 minutes when you wake up in the morning and on the way out the door, you know what I'm saying? Or coming home and having a late lunch and take that book out and study. Take that time out, for your loved one. I feel like it's time management. Is the key to everything, making time for everything. And it doesn't have to be a long duration. You're going to get through this. You're going to succeed. So get that negativity out of your head. You're going to do this because I don't see nothing blocking you. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome.
Thanks, Drea. We've got Jess and then Sig.
Hi, Shayla. Hey. So I've got a lot of cards out in front of me. I want to ask something, and feel free to say pass or whatever. But I may be misreading this. But do you have some confusion or angst about your partner? Does that come into play at all, or is that not a thing? Or just no?
There may be some confusion there.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of seeing from the cards. And so I'll show you what I mean. Okay, well, I'll show some of the cards anyway. So first off, I've got this 9 of Wands that was looking down at the High Priestess. And really with this I'm not sure if I can trust what's underlying. I'm not sure if I can trust, that treasure at the bottom of the ocean, that my intuition, confusion. I'm definitely seeing confusion. The 7 of Cups, which often signifies confusion, was over the 2 of Cups and the Ace of Wands, which my original tarot teacher reads the Ace of Wands as a relationship as well. So that kind of told me that there may be some conflict, some confusion there for you. But at the bottom of the deck of the first set that I went to, this card really popped out to me. When you said you found out you're pregnant, this image just really popped. And I was kind of seeing that as, you know, the manifestation of this here. But look how warm and wrapped up it is. And then I never really noticed this before, but this is kind of wrapped up in this flower that's bearing fruit. So that was my first clue that this really is a positive relationship for you. And then I've also got several other cards that are really saying victory, wish fulfillment, that this is not something to let that worry and that fear and that angst drive. But I really do see that being a really positive thing. And also just being in your power, feeling empowered and or surrendering a little bit to the divine on this one, where it's like, you know, just I'm guided, I'm protected, I'm being led. I have power, I can trust this, I can take this leap of faith, things are gonna work out. That's really what I'm seeing in the cards.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Jess. Go ahead, Sig.
Yeah, and so what your soul wants you to know at this time, according to the cards, is that it's time for contemplation and for looking within yourself, maybe spending a little bit of time with meditation. It says that you know what you want and that you've been on your journey to get it. But it also says your dreams might have messages for you. And if you've done a dream journal before, now's a good time to pull it out. If you've never done one, just keep something that you can write with next to your bed. And if you wake up in the middle of the night or first thing in the morning, just jot down what you remember. It's also helpful if you write down what happened the day before, because if there was an event or something that happened the day before, it could be influencing that dream, and that can give you more insight. And then the card for your physical world right now, it says to remember that you're beautiful inside and out, and that now might be the time to think about what your environment looks like, you know, whether you can just bring in some flowers or some dandelions or whatever from outside to brighten it up a little bit, and take some time to be aware of the beauty that surrounds you. Okay. And then for a clarifying card, the one I pulled is trust. Trust yourself. You do know.
Thank you.
That's great. Anyone else have something to share with Shayla?
Everybody's doing such a good job.
Yep.
Good.
Great. Yeah, and Shayla, you look great hearing all these answers.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're welcome. All right.
Well,
Yeah.
I got the star, so blessings coming your way.
Thank you.
All right, great. Just checking to see if anyone has anything else, or yeah, beautiful answers, everyone.
I saw the stars too. I just feel like she's making decisions. It's like Sheila. I can't even say it. Shayla. I apologize. I got to get it together, girl. Shayla. So I feel like you have options. It's like you're putting a lot of thought into it, and that's a good positive thing, you know. And whatever you choose, it's never going to be a wrong decision, because the star, she pulled out the star card. You know, I feel you completing your journey, you know, being a mom, getting the degree, having the man. I mean, you're going to have that family that, how can I say this? People are going to admire and respect that journey. Do you get what I'm saying? They're going to look up to you because you accomplished it. So, I mean, I can go on and on. I have chills right now because I see people looking at you like, go Shayla, go Shayla. Like they're like rooting for you. You know, it's like you were never the underdog. It was, okay, she can do this. You know, there's some doubters, there's some haters, but you could do this. So that's why I didn't say too much, because I see nothing but success.
Thank you.
As a woman, as a mother, yeah, and a career. Yeah. Oh, and I just pull one card. I pull, everything is up here. I pull one card. I keep forgetting to show the card. And it's the 6 of Wands. Hey, you're going to be fine. It's just a bump in the road. Just a little bump. God bless you. Good luck. You're welcome.
Great. All right, just check and see if anyone has anything else for Shayla. Great, all right. Thank you so much, Shayla. Lovely to have you back. And
thank you all.
You're welcome. All right, we have Nikita next, I think.
Hi.
Hello. It's up to you. Would you like to be on Spotlight? Just turn on your video and I can get you up here.
Okay. Not sure if I'll be dark or how light it is.
Oh yeah,
it's a little dark. Yeah, just because I don't have the big light on. Hold. Can you turn that big light on?
there might be something blocking your camera too. I don't know.
No, it's like it's facing me. It's just that I have I don't have my ceiling light on.
Well, it's okay. I mean, we can at least you're up here with, oh, there you are. Great. Yay. Hi. Sweet.
Here I am.
All right. And do you go by Kiki or?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Kiki or Nikiti, it whichever. So I kind of feel like I have a couple things, not a lot, but I've been feeling a little stuck lately, and actually not lately, for the past couple months. Like I felt like where I was shifting and getting out of the funk, and then here I'm back to kind of feeling like a bit unmotivated and where things don't seem to be moving. So I don't know really what that is. Like, is it me? And this is all like spiritually, I think probably most of it, but so I don't know if someone can give me some insight about that. And also I've been seeing like little like dark, I'm aware of it, but I'm not frightened of it, as if they were, I don't know, like little critters on the floor. Like I'm seeing it as little dark, small dark energy, I guess. So I don't know if that's what that is or about. So if I could get some insight on that.
That's great. And then when you said the unmotivated things not moving, stuckness, and then you said it was more spiritually, but is it other things too? Like it sounds like it's your body energy and other things in life too, or
maybe some of that, because sometimes like I have a dog that I could walk every day and I put that off. And sometimes I think maybe it's because I'm on the cell phone, but we're all on electronics. So like if that's that, but it's just like not, let's just say in a whole unmotivated.
All right, great. We got answers starting to come in. Go ahead, Natalie.
I just have a question for you, Nikita.
Yes.
So do you feel disconnected? Would that be the way to put it?
I don't feel disconnected, because I always do things like I meditate every day. I play my drum every day, most days. So I try to make sure I stay in the flow and feel, grounded and connected.
Okay.
So when you say unmotivated, what would be another word or another way of describing the same thing?
I don't know, would I say stagnant? Like it's just not moving. I'm not moving.
And how does that feel in your body?
It stinks, because I don't like to feel like I want to be doing something. I want to be moving. So
All right, Drea said, go ahead, Drea.
Okay, I just have a question too, and then I'm going to answer it. Do you could say yes, no, or you don't want to answer it. Okay, you know, just like, no, I don't want to answer it.
Yeah.
But are you practicing anything else at home? Because when I hear drums, when you're making sound, it's almost like you're calling something and you're not knowing that you're calling something to your area, your space. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I do play that. And sometimes I'll do it just to maybe connect with the spirit animal, or just because I like the feeling of the drum, and I'm just trying to connect with the drum itself.
Got you.
I like how it makes me feel.
Oh, definitely, definitely. I feel like maybe how can I say this? Do you feel like just tell me more about your emotions so I could express or read what's going on.
While I'm doing that, or just in general, like when I do that, I just feel a sense of relaxed and just it actually can calm me and just put me, you know, kind of center me, and just whatever, if something's going on, I can easily get out of that. So I feel good when I do the drumming.
And then after, how do you feel? Like
good.
You feel good. And then how about on the weekend when you're not doing it?
I kind of do it like when sometimes I'm called to do it too. Like, you know, I feel that. Yeah. So I do that. So it could be any time of the day. I do keep it on me. So if it's like in the middle of the day, then I may, you know, go do it, or most of the times would be at like later on, like now.
Okay. At nighttime. All right. Before you do it, do you cleanse yourself or say yeah before or after?
Some probably not enough, but I always call in Archangel Michael to come in and protect me, and
that's great.
You know,
that's
perfect.
Good. Yes. Because I would definitely suggest that before and after, just to protect yourself and your environment. Yeah. So is there any specific questions like you know, like how do you get rid of it? Like, you know, your love,
to get out
career.
of that.
Okay.
To get out of that, because I feel called to do exactly what everyone on this panel is doing. It's just where I'm like I do feel stuck, and like right now, and things aren't moving, and like I'm not moving. So maybe it's probably more of myself where I don't know. I just don't have that drive, although I want to. And then when certain things come up where I assist someone in something, then I'm like, you know, I recognize it. It feels good to me. So that's kind of like where I'm at. And if like, I guess getting more clients, will that like soon come to, because that's been stagnant. I've had clients for now. I think I've been on this little thing for probably about 4 months. So I usually try and cleanse myself in the moon and the shower, and I take the steps to nourish my body and, you know, my mind, of course, but still it's like I'm like, okay, and then I'm like in the rut again. So I'm just like,
Okay, I mean, maybe I can answer your question. I have the 7 of Cups. I see there's a lot of opportunities for you, but I want you to keep in mind, and I hate repeating the same cliche, like one step at a time, because I see success, but it's not that you're doubting or second guessing yourself. I think again, a new outlook on things will help you out of this rut And I would definitely suggest more cleansing before and after. Yeah, and sometimes you may have to switch it up by saying a different prayer, if you will. You know? Yeah, just researching. Because I mean, I have a million of them, if you will. But you know, sometimes you got to switch it up, and that will change the aura, the energy, the space.
Yeah. Yes, I do do that.
Good. That is excellent. That is excellent. And are there any other concerns besides business? Because
Drea,
it's going to open up right now.
Drea, sorry, we should just go on. Yeah. Is there anything brief you want to say about that, or we should go into some of the other practitioners first?
No, you can go on. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's great. I love that you got tons of stuff you want to share. It's really great. All right, we've got Sig and then Jess. Go ahead, Sig.
Yeah. Okay. So what it says your ancestors want you to know is to be sure to enjoy yourself. Be sure that you are having pleasure in your life and some passion, you know, along with everything else. Don't neglect that part of your life. It says that currently you are, just like you said, you're stepping back, you're kind of looking at the clouds and you're relaxed and not much is happening. But your higher self says that you are going to be experiencing rejuvenating rain. And this is doing some healing and some clearing on yourself. You may even be in the process of clearing up some past life stuff that's actually what's going on below the surface right now, is that you are clearing things up. And the spirit animals have a message, which is to take it slow, but keep moving forward. Keep your progress going, but don't feel like you have to run a race. You don't have to do it that way. You can take your time, absorb it all, and have fun along the way. Don't forget the fun. It is important. And for what's ahead for you is the faraway places card, which doesn't necessarily mean travel, but it does mean be prepared for a change of some sort. Maybe you are going to step in to your power a little bit more and start doing something different. So just be on the lookout, watch for synchronicities, and be honestly prepared to go where Spirit's calling.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Sig. Go ahead, Jess, and then we have Natalie.
Hey, Kiki.
Hi.
Hi. Yeah. So I'm kind of picking up on some flavors that have been touched on, but this idea of, well, let me say this first. It's not what came through first, but I am going to say this first. I saw these come out in a way that I'm compelled to say. So it's the 5 of Wands and the 6 of Wands. So this is conflict, competition. You know, 5s are often challenging cards, but then this 6 of Wands is victory. So I'm feeling compelled to say, you know, the 5 of Wands comes before the 6 of Wands. You know, the conflict comes before the victory. And I'm really getting a strong message that's urging you to kind of reconsider your stuckness, reconsider, be open, as Drea said, to other possibilities, other ways of this manifesting for you. Sig sort of hinted towards that as well. Sometimes when we hold too tightly to our vision, we do get stuck and we do block things from moving forward. And so I would encourage you to let go of control, to surrender. And I had this sort of affirmation come through. So free me from this prison of doubt. I cast this burden to you, Spirit. Show me your will and restore me to faith and confidence. And then the last thing I'll say is that I really do see success. I do see things coming through, you know, a big yes. But I don't know that it's going to look the way that you're thinking it's going to look. So be open.
I'm certainly open. Thank you so much, Jess. I just, not that because I've been on this journey for quite a few years now, and I'm doing, I think I've done everything to assist myself in healing and clearing and all that. So now I'm at the point where I'm like, okay, you know, I'm where at times I thought I was ready, like I'm super ready now. So it's just like maybe a little of like how. I think probably that too is like how.
Yeah,
So
yeah, you've done the work, you're feeling ready, so now it's just allowing. Surrender and not allowing. Beautiful. Beautiful.
thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Jess. Natalie?
Okay, so what came up for me is something similar to what I'm going through at this moment in time. I've had the message that I really need to cleanse. So I'm talking about like healthy foods, you know, removing processed foods, doing like I'm juicing celery in the morning. You know, I don't know if you've heard of him, but Anthony Williams.
Oh yeah, I tried it for like a day, and I'm like, wow, I really got to stock up on the stalks of celery because one whole stalk is an 8-ounce glass. So
yeah,
I need to quit giving her sweets. You know what? It's gonna roll over.
So, so that's what I'm hearing would be like really helpful right now is like, I'm feeling like a lot of what you're dealing with is just like the physical body type stuff, because we're moving into higher dimensions. I talked about this a little earlier, like we're moving from the third into the fourth, the fifth, and the sixth dimension. And it's like our physical bodies are changing, you know, so it's like all of the light that we're going to have to carry with us, you know, we have to do the healing on a deeper level, you know, on a cellular level. And then I don't have a hard copy card, but I have it on John Holland. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. He has a really great deck called Spirit Messages. And I pulled a card for you, and it's self-love. So it's just talking again about the meditation, the cleansing. Your physical body is like all part of that self-love ritual. You know, you have the spiritual self, right? But then you also need to heal the physical body too. So that's what I'm feeling is like kind of like what is going to kind of push you, you know, because like you were saying, you're feeling kind of stuck. Like that's kind of the thing that's going to kind of disarm what's happening right now.
Okay. It sounds good. All this feels good. It feels right. Thank you.
Oh yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, Natalie. Yeah, anyone have anything else? Drea, if you want to do a little bit more, you can. I just want to check with others also. Beth, were you getting ready? You had that motion towards your computer, and I was wondering if there was something else you wanted to say. Yeah, go ahead, Jess.
I haven't talked to you.
All right, so so Kiki, one thing that I'm thinking of in this idea of kind of letting go a little bit is that idea of actually not focusing on it for a while, focusing on something else that really feels good in your life, and not focusing on it for a little bit. And my experience has certainly been when I'm able to do that, things come in. When I'm not focused on that thing, but instead focusing on something else that feels good for me in this moment.
Okay. Thank you.
Welcome.
Can you send me or type that affirmation out that you had said so I can
put it in the chat? Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Thank you.
That's great. All right, Drea, if you wanted to bounce back in and share a little bit more, go ahead. You might have been on a roll and I interrupted, but yeah, go ahead.
No, it's okay. You know, some spiritual cleaning. Have you ever heard of Anil?
I don't think so.
Have you ever heard of camphor?
I have not.
Florida water?
Yes.
Okay. Uh, uh, Sometimes cleansing ourselves and our space is just adding a scent of flower. Flowers are very positive. So maybe you could switch up your cleansing, in your space. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Because
Thank
flowers,
you.
whether it's orange, lavender, orange blossom, lemon, sprayed around in your space, in your home, lighting it up will also help you on your journey too. Because those are, if you will, like very positive things to do. And it will keep, how can I say this? Like the spirit up, the attitude up, anything with flowers, with the
Right.
flower scent. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Drea. All right, yeah, to see if anyone has anything else. Yeah, Natalie, did you want to speak that, what you wrote?
I personally haven't done this, but I have a friend that owns a brand of very natural skincare. And one of the things she does is that she takes a pot, and this is what Drea made me think of. She'll take a pot and she'll boil it with like orange peels and thyme, and she'll just add a bunch of stuff. And the smell just invigorates her whole household. So just a different, if that's something you want to do to help cleanse your space, I think that would work really well too.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, anything else for Kiki? All right, great. Well, yeah, Henry, yeah, Henry, you want to say? Yeah, it's Henry, I saw what you wrote. I think we're okay. But yeah, is anything you want to share?
Yeah, I'm trying not to take up too much space because it's not really my gig. My gig is to support you all. So I don't know. I don't have to say anything. But I was like, yeah. So, Kiki, I had this odd little thing where you say you're not moving a lot, right? But
Yes.
then you say that you're drumming, but drumming is a lot of movement.
Interesting way to look at it. Thank you.
Right. So I'm wondering if, and Drea was talking about that kind of like, didn't you, Drea, about like a change of mind or change of outlook, or just changing the way you think about it or the way you conceptualize it or contextualize it? I think that may be also because just real quick, in the motorcycle course, they tell you not to look at the oncoming headlights because your bike will go where your eyes go. So your eyes go a lot on your state of mind and to the state of how you're not moving. And so it kind of reinforces that. I think, Drea, isn't that kind of what you were saying?
Correct. That is correct.
All right, great. I guess maybe one small thing I'll mention is that you seem, I mean, not only from the readings, but I wonder if part of what you feel joy about is that you're here in community with other people and you're letting yourself play. And I wonder if just from your eyes, like that people and community is really both of those things that's really important to you. And you might not be getting enough of it in a way that really is pleasurable for you. And so just being in spaces, being in events might be a supportive thing too.
Sounds good. That sounds
good. And did I not hear you that you wanted to actually be on the panel? Did I misunderstand that?
I don't know. You must be telling me something.
Henry, I totally heard that earlier on too. Not that she said it, but I totally heard that also. So yeah. So Kiki, if you're practicing in some way, we got opportunity.
Yeah, that might be a lot of movement.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you all so much for your insight this evening. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. All right, great. I totally had that message earlier, Henry. That's so great. That's so much fun. All right, I gotta learn to listen to those things too. I don't think we've had anyone else sign up for a question yet. So there was a little rumor out there that someone else might have a question for us though. Nissa, do you want to come up on stage?
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, I think this would be great.
Nissa.
Hi, everyone.
Hi,
Yay.
Nissa.
So I don't know if I'm asking a fair question. And I say that fair just because it's intense. So I just feel a little bad about it. But I was in a pretty bad car accident almost a month ago. And physically, I'm doing okay, but emotionally and mentally is where I'm struggling a lot still. Warning, there was a death involved. It wasn't anyone I knew, but in the 6-car accident, someone did die resulting of the crash that I was in. And so I was wondering if anyone had any messages or just tactics or strategies for bringing more peace and calm with what happened in more of the emotional aspect of it, especially for the family of who lost their loved one that day. Just anything for more peace with that.
Yeah, thanks, Anissa. And for those of us that know you, right, we know a little bit more of all that. Marian's ready, so Marian, go ahead.
Hi, Anissa. It's good to see you. When you said that you were having some emotional stuff going on about that, what occurred to me is that at the time that I was in a head-on collision, the passenger went through the windshield and got badly hurt. And because I was in a state of shock, I took on a part of his pain. And I didn't realize that until many, many, many years later when I was doing some healing work. And I was able to look at the area of my body and realize that what was there was his energy, and that my energy was standing out on the street where we got hit, waiting for me to come find her. So if you've got the kind of assistance that can help you check that out, see whether or not there's a part of you back there on the freeway that kind of thought you could help stop the situation, because that's what happened for me. I had put my hand up to try and ward off the car that was heading our direction. I knew I could stop it. I knew, but I didn't know the words. So when my hand hit the windshield, that piece of me that knew I knew how to do that just popped out and waited for me to come get her. And in the space where she was, or that part of me was, I now had this injured person's very dark, drunk energy. So I don't know if that's helpful, but that was the first thing that came to me, is that that sadness may be him knowing he was leaving, or the piece of him that couldn't tell his loved ones, I'm sorry that I'm leaving and can't say goodbye. That was what came to me. And I will send you more love and blessings. I've been doing that, but I'll send some more.
Thank you so much, and thank you for being willing to share your personal experience too.
Yeah, wow. All right, Jess, go ahead.
Hi, Anissa. I'm so sorry. As you were talking, the very, very loud in my head before you mentioned that somebody had passed, grief. And so there are 5 stages of grief. You're likely familiar. But my advice would be, which is, you know, we conceptually understand this, and yet it's harder to practice when we're in it, just to allow, as things come up, just allow them. Notice those feelings, notice those thoughts, make note of them, and then allow, release, whatever is needed. Allow that. My daughter was in a significant car accident a few years ago. It's greatly impacted her life, and she's still, like, it was a long road for her to really release that. But at the same time, there was some drastic, I was pretty impressed actually with how quickly some of that dissipated. However, when there is a death, that, I can't even imagine. And I don't know if you're connected other than through that crash, but earlier today, I was actually on an e-treat with Neil Donald Walsh. Are you familiar with Neil Donald Walsh? He's the author of Conversations with God. Do you, have you heard of like channeling? Do you believe that people can channel? So in his experience, he's experienced himself having dialogue with God. And I bring this up because multiple times it was emphasized today that in the spiritual sense, the broader part of us, our higher selves, our higher selves know, right? And so the message over and over today was no one passes in a time and in a way that is not of their choosing, which intellectually we can't make sense of a lot of times. And yet there is comfort in knowing that. If you or someone else involved, they like to read his book, Home with God, is one that is of great comfort to many people who have experienced loss and grief. And it is part of the dialogue with God. And so I'll throw that out there. But then again, just to reiterate, it's grief. There are 5 stages. They suck, but recognize, allow, and just, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jess. Sig, go ahead.
Yeah, so what I pulled for you is protection, that you are protected and that your roots run very deep. You are very grounded, that you're okay and you will be okay. The action step for you right now is to step into your power. It doesn't mean you aren't going to be afraid, doesn't mean that you aren't going to have uncertainty, but stand up for yourself, let your passion be known, stand up for yourself, for others. Maybe consider writing about it, write how you feel and what's going on. And if you take that step, then you're going to realize that there are all kinds of wondrous things around you. Now, you may not see them right away, and they may be very little teeny things, but every time you notice something, be aware of it and be grateful for it, because all sorts of things can come out of this.
Thank you very much.
Just being with your cards. Yeah. All right, Natalie's got something too. Go ahead, Natalie.
Hi, Miss, I love your hair. It's so beautiful. So I think like the first thing that came up for me, and I don't know if this is kind of what you're feeling right now, but it's like the realization that it could have been you, like that could have happened to you, like your life could have ended that night. And then having maybe a sense of responsibility for feeling like, okay, well now I really, something terrible could have happened. So now I have to live to the best of my ability. So I don't know if that's something that you're kind of feeling. When I pulled a card for you, I pulled it from John Holland's Spirit Messages deck, and it was basically embrace the moment. So, just trying to be in the present as much as possible, and just enjoying, like today when the sun came out at like 4:30, just like enjoying those really small moments throughout your day and just trying to be really present with everything. And then another card came up, And this said study. So I don't know if you're thinking about going back to school or if that's something that's been on your mind, but that was what came up, was schooling. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Yeah, the studying thing and more spirituality studying and getting more of that as, yeah, it makes sense. Words are hard right now, sorry.
Yeah, anyone have anything else?
And I don't know if you've read Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now. Have you read that book already? Okay, so I really recommend it. What you'll find is, I recommend this book to everybody. I've read it several times, but you'll find that as you're reading the book, you're put into his state of consciousness. So he's completely in the present moment. And as you're reading that, you will notice that your mind doesn't go elsewhere. You're just so deeply rooted into his teachings, and he teaches you how to become more present in your life. And that was all I had. Thanks, Laureli.
Yeah, anyone have anything else?
Yes, it's Anissa. Did I say it right?
Yeah,
Okay,
Nissa.
hi. Okay, I have a page of sword. It's just going to take a little bit of time of what you're going through. Like everyone, as Jess mentioned, it's a process that you have to go through. And yours may take a little bit longer than the person to the left, a little bit less than the person to your right. But it's like, it's just going to take time. But you're going to get through this because I see your inner strength. You have the keys, you have the tools. There's nothing getting in your way. It's just time. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Great. I guess I know I have something I'm thinking of, but Henry, is there anything you want to say that'll help with anything with the practitioners too before we say anything?
Say it again. What about the practitioners?
Oh no, I said, is there anything that you want to say of any, like linking back to anything that the practitioner shared, or is there anything we should do supporting them first before we share anything? Because
Yeah, well, I mean, I really like how everybody's being very sensitive to you and Nissa, and just really not throwing a bunch of stuff at you. So what I'm noticing here is a kind of being with, like people are being with you. And from my experience, I teach a process called wise listening. And it's a process where I teach people how to be with, and also the tools that allow them to be with. Because when we are not being with, it's because we can't deal with it. And then there are tools that allow you to be with it. And so I think this is a tremendously healing process. So I wouldn't be surprised if you felt a little more seen, a little more heard, and a little more settled in as a result of that. So the more you can experience people rather than giving you advice, and advice is great. It's just that this might be a time where people just really just have to be with what it is for you, and for you to have to be with what it is for you. I mean, you are psychically linked to the person who died because it happened in your space. And I think that people a lot of times are not sensitive to the power of that experience because they're just not experiencing that sort of thing a lot. But it's rather unforgettable, you know, and that's okay.
no, and practitioners, if anything else just comes up for you from Henry's share too,
Yeah,
you can go first.
Anissa, you cry it out, and you're strong. Do not hold back those tears, okay? Get mad, you yell, you scream, and then guess what? It's gonna make you feel better. You are a strong woman. You're very brave, okay? This is again, how can I say? It's just a time thing. It took me 1 month to say, my father passed away before I started crying. But yet when it was my grandmother, how can my father was more prepared for. My grandmother, I mean, I delivered my son 2 months early, you know. I didn't cry, but inside it was like, I know she's older. I know, you know what I'm saying? Everyone grieves in different ways. So what you're doing is fine. But the only thing I'm asking is you let those tears out, because I'm telling you, those tears are going to turn into a smile before you know it. And you're going to think about the happy times. Okay, so let it out. Let it out. And you're going to recover better than ever. Okay? It's okay.
Natalie, go ahead.
I'll just share something really quickly. I had like an emergency surgery right around when you had your accident, because I saw the email come through where Laureli shared what had happened to you. And one of the things that I recognized during my healing process, because I live alone and I didn't have anybody at the hospital with me. When I came home, I was home alone for like 2 weeks in recovery. And I realized how much presence mattered to me, like how much somebody's presence, whether it was calling my mom and talking to her and just letting her know what was going through. And, you know, she would be doing a million different things in the background. I said, Mom, I just need you to be present with me, you know, even for 2. So try to find those people that can be present with you during your healing. And I think that's what Henry was talking about. Just the importance of that, you know, like people that will calm and that they're going to aid in your healing, basically, is what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a kind of being present where, because what happens a lot of time when we're present to a person suffering, because you're suffering, and that's okay too, you know, we sometimes suffer. In America, not so much publicly. I'm from Germany. Germans are much more willing to suffer publicly because it doesn't make you unpopular. So you're suffering, and I think that being present to that while also holding you as whole and wise and divine simultaneously gives you the space to experience what you're experiencing without the fear of where's this going to lead. Am I going to go down a rabbit hole here? So when somebody can hold you as whole and complete while you're experiencing what you're experiencing, then that's sort of like the spelunking cord. I don't know what you call it in English, but like it's the cord you hold on to, or you can go down deep into the cave and you'll get pulled out again. So like that. I understand now, Lorelei, when you warned me, don't say too much. I didn't.
It's hard. We're so used to being on the panel where we can share.
Well, it's also like, oh my God, I want to help, I want to help, I want to help.
Yeah. So I'll become why we all become practitioners, right? We want to support. So I'll say a little bit. So Marian, I loved your first share. It really caught my attention, and I know because Anissa, you mentioned to me a little bit more about the accident, some other things that came up for you, and when Marian shared that about like a piece of you might be still there on the freeway, what I imagine is that a piece of you also jumped out and went back into the journey with your dad. And so you're going through new layers of grief with him, and that a part of you too may be out there with him.
Yeah, I definitely think so. Yeah, since it was the father, the husband, and seeing the little boy lose his dad, just like I lost my dad. Yeah, not to a car accident, but being a little kid. So yeah, thanks for re-mentioning what Marian said, because
yeah. It's just, I imagine like fear or guilt of holding you all together again. You know, that others aren't together, in particular your dad, like being all together, and yeah. Like letting it be okay that you're okay. Marian, go ahead.
I know I've seen a lot of programs where men who come back from the war suffer from what they call survivor's guilt. So just consider the possibility that you're experiencing a little bit of that as well, because you survived and he didn't. Because the soldiers whose friends didn't come home, they go through a lot. until they can get past that guilt that they got to come home to their families and their best bud didn't get to come home. So be gentle with yourself and know that we all love you.
Thank you all so very much.
And I also really liked what Jacqueline's up there. Jesse, what you said, that really reached me. There's like no one leaves if it's not their time. You know, I was 8 years old and I got hit frontal by a car going 40 miles an hour. And I survived. Complete miracle. I should have died because it wasn't my time. So it's probably not a good kind of comfort, or maybe it's too intellectual, but I think that maybe it's okay that this man moved on. And maybe it's going to be okay for that boy to have the experience that he's going to have. Could be.
Yeah, just more of the paradoxes of life that we don't know. Yeah. For those of you that are here that don't know, Anissa works for me and is part of having all these events happen. Yeah, she's a big important part of the community. Thanks, Anissa. All right, well, we have reached the end of our event. Thank you everyone for being here and helping hold space for everything. Thanks everyone for asking questions, and all of you for being on the panel and stepping up, and Natalie being your first time. It's great. I love doing this all together. All right, well, practitioners, let's go through and have you share again who you are, what you offer, and how people can reach you. So someday when someone else watches this video and they want to connect with you, they know how. All right, let's see. I'm just going to share about Julia again, since she's not here right now. And then we can go around in the same order. I think it was Jess, Sig, Marian, Natalie, and Drea. Julia's offers psychic readings and life path coaching. She's at mysticmilieu.com. That's mysticmilieu.com. And julia.kulak@gmail.com. That's juliakulak@gmail.com. And you can text her at 971-985-0022, or probably call her too. All right, great. Jess. You are muted.
Yeah, sorry. Had something pop up. Things pop up. And then you figure it out. So I'm Jess. You could reach me at jessica@withcaretraining.ca, because I am in Canada. I'm also American. I'm actually a dual citizen. I work for an American company, and I have the joy and pleasure of training and coaching people and mentoring people on a lot more practical stuff. I try to include a little practical in here, but I get so excited that I'm with a spiritual community that, so I don't think I had an event special listed, but I would certainly be willing to say, donation or what have you from anybody that wanted to reach out. So again, that's jessica@withcaretraining.ca. Good night, everyone.
Thanks, Jess. Sig.
And I'm Sig, and I have always wanted to be a healer. Matter of fact, I thought that I would be a medical doctor, but I'm very glad I didn't. I have worked in hospitals and doctors' offices. And so thanks to some channeling I've had done lately for myself, I realized that, yeah, I really am a healer. And so I've been studying energy work and now working with the cards, channeling messages for people. And I'm still studying that. I am in a course right now, so I'm only taking donations because I need practice for my course. But I would love to work with people and give them some messages.
All right, I wasn't paying enough attention. Did you say how people can reach you?
I think my information's in
Oh,
the
but I want you
chat.
to say it so it's in the video because they can't see the chat if people watch it later.
So it's your new unlimited self at gmail.com.
Great, thank you. Marian.
Okay, let me pull this up because I don't have it memorized. Where'd it go? I had it there for a second. There it is. Okay, my name is Marian Chariat, and I do intuitive energy reading and healing. I can be reached at Chariat's free to be ministry at gmail.com, and Chariot is spelled Chariat. And I can be reached at 971-206-4469 and leave a message, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And for this event, you can, I'm offering just for donation to my PayPal account. That is PayPal me at, okay, so it's paypal.me/MCSSGIATYG. That's Marian Chariat Soul Support, God in Action. Thank you, God. So that's how you can reach me.
Thank you so much, Marian. Natalie, and then Drea, and then Henry.
Okay, hello, my name is Natalie and I offer intuitive and higher self channelings. The best way to reach me is through email, and my email address is N for Natalie and then my last name Rodriguez, RODRIGUEZ 3111@gmail.com. Or you can also reach out to me through Instagram. My page is awakening_in_Seattle. So it's Awakening in Seattle. And I do readings that are recorded over Zoom, and they are $30 for 30 minutes. And if we go over, I will not charge you the difference.
And I think it just went by really fast. Can you say again, like, what are the modalities that you do?
Sure. So I do a little bit of everything. Mostly it's like intuitive higher self channeling. But I also practice numerology in a lot of my readings. And I also will use astrology if that's a modality that people feel comfortable with. And sometimes I'm not very skilled at tarot, so I use oracle cards. And there's a few decks that I'll occasionally use during the course of a reading.
Great, thank you. All right, Drea.
Hi, I'm Drea. I'm an intuitive reader. I also do automatic writing. So whatever your questions are about your life, love, your present situation, I'll be able to answer it. You could reach me at dreaisgifted@gmail.com. And right now, I will only be accepting donations. I'm here to help and answer your questions. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Drea. Those were all of our practitioners in training on the panel. And then Henry and I have been supporting things. Go ahead, Henry.
Yay, practitioners. So proud of you. Everybody did really great. Thank you, wonderful guests who came forward and asked questions. And all of you who didn't, who were still a wonderful, energetic part of this whole container. That is the MeWe event, MeWe Awakening panel. And thank you so much, Laureli, for creating this. This wouldn't exist without you. And it's just one of my favorite things to do in the world. And I just love what I call it a public good. You're providing a public good. You really are. Really are. So, and I'm going to keep saying that until you just go like, I'm going to be a sponge and just sponge that in. It's so true. It's so true. Okay, so henryindiaholden.com is where you can reach me. You want to know anything about what I do? My website is so big and it keeps getting bigger because there's so much people ask questions. So pretty much any question you might have. So is probably answered on my website about my classes, about the kind of sessions that I offer. And I have a special for MeWe participants, which is a really great price, I think, at $20 for a 30-minute session and $50 for a, is that right? No, it's $20 and $30.
I think it's $30 for 30 minutes,
Yeah.
maybe at $50 for an hour.
Yeah, exactly. So, whoa, that's really great. But I just love it. I just hope that you will avail yourself of that opportunity. And is there anything else I should be saying? That's probably it, right?
Oh no, you got the special. The special is it's lower numbers here. It's 20 for 30 and 30 for 50. So it's really, really, really a good price. Wow.
Yeah, right.
And then
yeah.
you are making tarot cards and you are
Yes.
teaching a class on tarot that starts on November 13th.
Yes, exactly. And if you're really curious, if you just email me at henry@henryhello.com, you can sit in on the class that I have going on right now to kind of check in and see what you think of it. So that's also on offer. And just thank you all for being here.
Great. Thank you so much, Henry. I appreciate your collaboration and your participation supporting all these other events too. Great work. And I'm Laureli Shimayo. I'm an intuitive eye reader and a body psychology coach. I apply this work to reading your soul and answering questions on career, relationships, matchmaking, hiring, consulting, all kinds of different things, and helping you grow and be the best you can be. We've got tons more events going on at MeWe Fairs as well. You can check out our website at mewefairs.com, MEWEFAIRS.com. And some of the things coming right up are on Monday. We have a panel on animal communication at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time. Tuesday, we have our online fair with 16 practitioners. We do a free intuitive panel for the first hour where we answer questions from the audience for free, quick little answers. And then practitioners give talks throughout the evening or group healings. You can interact with all the different practitioners in breakout rooms, and they're available to do sessions in private breakout rooms as well. They offer specials just like we offer specials today. Wednesday, next week, I got them back to back here. Wednesday, we have a metaphysics and intuition practice circle. So if you're already practicing something, learning to practice something, you can come. We will hold space and you do readings and healings with your peers. Thursday, we have a panel Black Cat Conjure for Halloween and Samhain. So that's coming up as Halloween is approaching, Samhain is approaching. And then Saturday, October 30, we have a metaphysics and intuition learning circle. So that's where we and I'm wondering if I'm postponing that one because I don't think we've planned it out yet. But what we would typically do, there are several of us that offer intuitive exercises for people for practicing opening their intuition. That one might get postponed is my guess. And then we also have our in-person fairs coming up, one in Portland, November 2021, and in Bellevue in the Seattle area, December 4-5. And I also help run the BEPC Conscious Wellness Expo that is November 6 and 7 in the Seattle area. Lots going on to get that all ready, and we're getting back to being in person. And we will continue to do online events. This has been great over the last year and a half as the events have really opened and expanded. We've been running fairs online for almost 3 years now. We started before the pandemic, and this is great. And I'm going to keep connecting with everybody all around the world. This is lovely. Well, thanks so much for being here and supporting all of our events. I'm going to put one more time in the chat if you want to fill out the feedback form and give us feedback. We will enter you into a drawing for a free 30-minute session with one of the practitioners on the panel of your choice. Well, thank you everyone for being here, and practitioners on the panel, hang out and we'll be here to support you a little bit as we complete. Let me turn off the recording.